Hello and good morning and welcome to another episode of Smashi Sports Show. My name is Hisham, joined today by Abdulaziz.
Hello, Hisham.
Hi
How are
Aziz,
you?
how are you?
How are
Today
you?
is the 10th of Jan on a Friday morning. We had a lot of news coming up for us. Very exciting news also, and it's also regarding tennis. And tennis is one of my favorite sports that I really like watching. I never had the opportunity to play even as amateur,
Okay. I was
but
gonna
it's
ask you, do you know how to play tennis?
well,
Or maybe you'll say, I know how to play paddle.
I know how to play paddle, but I don't know how to play tennis.
It's a different sport.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's similar, you know.
It's kind of similar, but when you play both, you kind of know that there's a huge difference between those.
You play tennis. Right?
Yeah, I played tennis like for 4 years or 5 years, and then recently I just played
It's a
paddle.
beautiful tennis. It's a beautiful game. Sorry, I've always loved it, and my favorite player was Nadal.
Okay, Rafael.
Rafael Nadal. Yeah, he's. I love his style. I love that he's Spanish. You know.
And he has this record that no one will ever break it. The 14 title Roland Garros. He won
Yeah.
14 times. I don't think no one is really even close to break that record.
He's
Maybe Alcaraz, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I think
Mine
Alcaraz
was Federer.
is a small monster that I think he will break a lot of numbers
Mm-hmm.
because you see how fast he is, you see how passionate he is, you see the anger he is, and his idol is Nadal as well. I think that makes a good player when he has an idol who was like a legend player.
True.
So yeah, let's kick it off with our first headline today, where Hady Habib, the Lebanese player, became the first Lebanese player in the Open era to reach a men's single main draw at Grand Slam. We were just talking about Grand Slam.
Yes.
Hady Habib has marked a significant milestone as he became the first Lebanese player in the Open era to reach that, and it's an achievement that I think hasn't been achieved before, especially in the Australian Open. So yeah, what would you think? What do you think of that?
It's such a big achievement because there are only 4 big slams in the world, and having the opportunity to qualify to that means like you are one of the top 32, top 34 players in the world, and you have the chance to compete with the highest tennis players in the world, and this is really amazing for just a Lebanese player, and he's so young.
He qualified for the Australian Open
Yeah.
main draw, so it's very nice seeing such a
It's
player.
happening. It's happening this week, this Sunday, the first round. We need to be cheering loud for him.
Yeah, he's an amazing player, amazing youth person. Don't want to say the word youth, but he's a talent that I think needs to be focused on, and also.
I think if I was a tennis player, just qualifying to one of these big slams is just an achievement for
it's
me.
just
Like
an
I can
achievement.
lose in the first round. I
Yeah.
can take it.
I agree 100% with you, and like you know, I think also that what brings the passion of that is that you see how the Tunisian Marrakesh tennis player, the woman
Ons Jabber.
Ons Jabir.
Yeah, she's
I
Tunisian.
think she's
Yeah.
the one who just pushed things up and just made a significant like engagement between everything. You know.
She didn't. She reached 3 times in a row of the final of Wimbledon, but she didn't. Got the title yet, and she's been frustrating for it. That's why I want to see her get to the finals and win the title. So
I think it's like you as a player seeing like someone around you in the area, just like us as Arabs in the Middle East and the GCC in general, where you see them achieve such a good achievement, you feel like you want to be more, and that's also similar to our next story. But you see that in football and basketball and tennis and all sports when you see someone around your area making it to the top places and competitions, you would have that thing inside you that I want to do that as well. If he can do it or she can
course.
do it, I can do it. You know.
he makes it us more believe more in what we can achieve. I mean, he also had Habib. He won 1 ATP Challenge Tour singles and 3 double titles. So he's a winner. Like he had that winning mentality, and I hope he gets through the first round. And I want to see him going through the Australian Slam, and I just want to see him keeping the same level. Because sometimes when you qualify, there's a lot of pressure. Like big Grand Slam, they're different from small tournaments and ATP tournaments. And I want to see his on court and off court like mentality and his physical performance. So we'll be definitely cheering loud for Hady Habib and all Arab tennis players that have the opportunity to play in this kind of big tournaments.
Yeah,
I think also there's Aziz Kadous, also a Tunisian, also a young player, has also qualified for the Australian tour. So new faces in the tennis.
yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Let's move on to another young star, Omar Marmoush.
Omar Marmoush.
Yeah, you familiar with the name?
I'm familiar with the name, and I know you love him. I know you love him.
Omar
You're
Mar-
second Mohamed Salah, right?
Not really,
Yeah.
but the question that people has been asking recently: Will Omar Marmoush, will we see Omar Marmoush in Manchester City in Jan?
Yes, we will.
We will. Are you
I'm
sure?
telling you this. Yes, we will.
Omar Marmoush has been a fantastic player this season, especially after moving to Frankfurt, obviously, and just playing for many German clubs in the past 3 years. But this year, his goals and assists are equally or more than to his games.
Yeah.
And I think he's having a great season this year. Marmoush, he started off playing at Wadi Degla club in Egypt, and then he
Okay.
decided to travel abroad and just take that journey when he was a kid. And he's been fighting for the last 3-4 years. Maybe people start having seeing an eye lately on him.
Okay.
But I think the German league is a bit hard as well because it doesn't have.
It's
that
a tough
much-
league.
It's one of the top 5 leagues, obviously,
Yeah.
but it doesn't have that attraction, just like the English league, the Spanish league, you know. Because you always have that background that Bayern Munich will always win every game. But, it's
But if you
such-
prove yourself in the German league, means you can play in any league in the world.
Yes, because you have Bayern Munich, obviously, and Borussia
Yeah,
Dortmund.
Munich,
But obviously,
Dortmund.
Bayern is the biggest team there. They're a machine, the team that have consistency for more than like 15 years. You never see them drop
True.
a season, you know.
Also, there are good teams like Leipzig, Frankfurt is a very good team. Köln, Hanover. I mean, if you prove yourself within these teams, then you have the opportunity to play with bigger teams.
According to Sky Germany, talks have been done between Marmoush and Manchester City, and they will offer him a very long-term contract to season 2029, 2030. But Manchester City sent the first offer, and it was declined by Frankfurt. I think hopefully they're pushing to just get an extra amount of it.
Extra amount of the contract, yeah.
It's his fees is between 51 and 60 million, and thoughts that would be the fees to sign the Egyptian star at the moment. I think he's also like an international player. He plays for the national team. He has a very good impact on the national team. He's fast. He plays with his legs, right foot, left foot.
Yeah, he's a complete player. He's a complete player.
I think what made him boom so high, especially this season, that he scored 3 free kicks in 3 games in a row.
Oh, that's a record.
Yeah, it can be a
I
record.
think
but
no one did it before. Who
that-
did it before?
Maybe, but like I think that what made
Maybe
the spot-
Juninho?
maybe what that made the spotlight around him, and I think him just being scoring and assisting more than his games, I think that's a very good achievement, because like he's competing also with Harry Kane on the top scorer of the German league as well.
The last player who did it
Bundesliga.
before was Christian Fuchs in 2009-2010 season.
How many goals in a row?
3 free kick goals in a row. 3 games in a row, same thing.
Yeah.
So that was like 15 years ago.
We have a famous Egyptian player. His name is Shikabala.
Okay, Shikabala, yes, I know.
He scored a hat trick in 1 game in 3 kicks. Three free kicks in 1 game, and that game finished 4-3. I remember.
Oh my
that
God.
game. So yeah, it's so nice to see.
We
Again,
never see that. We usually don't see that.
Yeah, it happens barely. It happens in season 2009.
I think now
2010.
Marmoush is your favorite and no more Salah.
Nah,
I
impossible.
can see it in your eyes.
No, like Salah this season, I would predict that his numbers are very high. His numbers are incredible. I think it's like the first season he did after moving from Rome to Liverpool. That season when they reached the Champions League final and they lost that game against Real Madrid, obviously. But you see, we had a player previously called Ahmad Hossein Midu.
Okay.
Okay, Midu was like a player that literally traveled alone when he was 16 years old
Okay.
in 2002, and that wasn't applicable. Like you would never know, you would never know where does he play, his goals, his all that. And he played for really top teams like Tottenham, Marseille, Celta Vigo,
Oh,
Roma. So he brought up that Egyptian player name and personality in
so
the.
he was the first one.
They had players before him, obviously, but Midu specifically was there,
He made the
and
big
he
jump.
made a very, very great season with Ajax.
Correct.
So I think Salah looking up to Mido and breaking his numbers 100%, 300%, because Mido could have had a better career, and he was speaking in an interview, and people were saying that's the difference between you and Salah. He's like, Salah crossed me with milestones,
Yeah.
but because he worked on his mind, he works on his mentality. I was more of a guy there who just wanted to have fun, play the game, hang out, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's a generation passes on to a generation, and then you see
But
Marmoush coming
I
up.
think old football for me is way more fun than the modern one.
Yeah, because you need to set your like how's your mental health going? Because let's agree that the football players are like the luckiest people on earth, more than celebrities. But
They are celebrities.
they're all, but
Yeah.
more like celebrities on the fact of singers,
Oh
artists,
yeah, yes.
movie
Yeah,
stars.
they are sports celebrities.
Yeah. So when you see that amount of fame, you get attention, you get money, all that.
It's a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure, and what are you gonna do?
Exactly.
You know, what am I gonna do?
Exactly. You
So,
have to handle it. That's
yeah.
why on court and off court. That's what I'm
Yes.
saying for Hady for the tennis thing also.
Yeah. So you did a very good season. Like I'll tell you something that I heard before. Reaching the top, it's easy, but
Think so.
staying there,
Yeah.
it's the hard part.
Sure.
So like even like in leagues, you think being at the top of the table is easy. You reach the top, but the consistency of being there against all teams,
Staying at the top. Yeah.
it's the
requires
hardest
that.
part. So I think Salah managed to do that. I think Liverpool dropped a season 2 years back, but he made a great 7-8 seasons with the club. They still haven't renewed his contract with him.
No,
But I
that's
think
That's
they
huge.
will. They will. The club now is facing a lot of problems with Van Dijk, Arnold, Salah. But I don't want to jump into Liverpool in the
Okay.
Premier League. But it's amazing seeing an Arab player having another Arab player as like an idol for him and just moving up towards it. And seeing him playing for Manchester City, I think it's a good opportunity also, not only for Marmoush or Egypt, but all for the Middle East and the GCC players, that we all have an opportunity to be there in the top leagues. Like the Saudi backup player who now plays for Rome. So it's amazing seeing many players from Egypt, from Saudi, from
Okay, I have a
from
question for
Algeria,
you.
from Morocco, from
I have
Tunisia.
a question for you.
Sure.
If you're a manager and you have to pick one of these three players, Midu, Marmoush, or Salah, just pick one.
They play all in different position.
Yes, I know, but just pick
I'll
one.
have
I wanna
Salah
see-
play
I
wing
wanna see your
right. I'll have
favorite one.
Marmoush play wing left,
I know
and I'll
it,
have
I know
Mido
it.
play
He'll
as
pick
striker.
everything. That's
Because like Mido, like I haven't seen him play that much. I didn't see him play that much.
Okay.
Like I remember a few games for him, but I haven't really watched him that much playing, and obviously having access to the Premier League back in the days were different. And when
Yeah.
I moved to UK, he moved outside UK to Ajax. So it was a great experience for Mido, because you would know that you have a player that played in France, Italy, Spain, England. These are the top leagues.
And he just put foot in all of them. So
Yeah, and then you see Salah, he's a different story. A person who just made it to the Swiss league in Basel. It didn't work out for him. It worked out very well. So
Oh, he walked out in
Mourinho
Basel, yeah.
took him to Chelsea. It didn't work out for him there. He's not a Premier League performer. He can't play in the top leagues. So he went to Fiorentina, made an excellent season on the loan.
And he bounced
He went
back.
to Roma, bang it there, made huge success. And then, now him in Liverpool.
No, Liverpool. Yeah, it's-
I'm sorry, but he broke numbers that Steven Gerrard didn't like. Gerrard never won the league, and we got Salah, but that doesn't make Gerrard like a legend. He's a legend, but Salah can be one of the top 5 players that ever played for Liverpool. And then you see Marmoush's upcoming player that he's fighting his way in the Bundesliga, where no one knew about him. Even in the Olympics in 2000 and before COVID, 2019.
18? No?
Yeah, before COVID, we had the African
2000, I think.
the African champions. No,
20.
we had the African Cup for under 23, and all his generation joined, but he didn't join, and they qualified for the Olympics after it.
2020, I think.
And then they made it to the group stage, but they lost on the round of 16 or the quarterfinals. And he wasn't there also with his team, with his generation, but he didn't stop. He continued until now. He's like Manchester City are officially signing him. Like, I'm sure that City finished everything with him. They're just waiting to finish everything with the club. So I think it's going to be a great move. City needs a refreshment also this year with them, as they've been slacking.
City has been always a complete team. Like
But they're slacking this season. I think they're like
the bench of Manchester City is a whole other team. Like.
This season is a bit different for them. They've been slacking, but I think things are working very high. Let's move on to our last story for today, where the pressure keeps happening for Casemiro. Ronaldo now is pushing.
Casemiro, my boy.
Is pushing to sign. Ronaldo's pushing to sign Casemiro for Al Nassr. He's a fantastic player, Casemiro. Also, he played with Ronaldo in Real Madrid for many seasons, and I played a season with him in Manchester
I think Cristiano
United.
Ronaldo likes to play with Casemiro.
Casemiro is a Brazilian player, but he started his career in Porto, a Portuguese club. So, and Ronaldo's Portuguese as well, so they both...
They played also in Manchester, right?
They played one season together in Manchester United under Ten Hag. So I think it's very amazing, and I think it's a great move if really Casemiro moved over to Saudi League. It's going to be a good ad for him specifically.
It's a good ad also for Al Nassr as a team.
For Al Nassr as a team,
and also Ronaldo,
and also for Casemiro, because he hasn't performing that well. People are criticizing him since he came over, to be honest, from Manchester United from Real Madrid. Because they would expect more from him based on his performance with Madrid. But I said this previously on the show that in Madrid he had Toni Kroos and Modric with him. If you had a 19-year-old kid playing with them, he would be a star. So it's a different game and different mentality. But hopefully seeing Casemiro return to Ronaldo, a great reunion in Al Nassr. Hopefully we'll see more and more players going not only in Jan, but I'm sure the big moves will happen in the summer.
True.
So it's a good ad for the league, and I think people now are starting to believe more in the project. It's not just a thing where we go just to retire.
It's a fact. We're seeing players. We're seeing the transfer happening. So
and it's crazy that you see that in the Global Soccer Awards, where Neymar said, "I agree with." After he said, "I agree with Ronaldo's words that now Saudi league is more competitive and a better league than Ligue 1. It's the French league, because you have 4 or 5 teams competing, but." That what makes a league strong.
Makes it strong, true. True.
So I predict it's going to be a very strong reunion between both of them, marketing and sales as well for the club, and for him, I think Casemiro will have the time to show back and get back to his form and just compete there. Yeah, hopefully we see a lot of players moving to Saudi as the project is getting bigger and bigger. This is all the news we had for today. Thank you, Aziz.
Thank you, Hisham.
It's always nice to have you.
Me too.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to us and watching us. You can follow us on your favorite podcast platform, Anghami, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube Music. And you can watch the full show, audio, video on Smashi TV. Download the app on your phone, iPad, tablet, and TV. Also, you can find it on the web browser. Just a shout-out announcement for EDC Emirates Drift Championship Round 2. It's kicking off
tomorrow?
On Friday.
Wow.
On Saturday. Yes, tomorrow. Sorry.
Yeah, tomorrow.
My days are just mixed up. I'm not confused. Today's a Friday. I don't know why. It's kicking off tomorrow at 2 p.m. It's live on Smashi TV. You can also watch the highlights and the stories of the event on our Instagram page, Smashi Sports. This was Smashi Sports podcast platform. This was Smashi Sport podcast show apart from... All right, let me just say that one more time.
Go for it.
This was Smashi Sports Show, a Smashi production under the Augustus Media Network podcast. See you on Monday.
See you guys.